this hurts me the most since I started trading. I had an account of about $18. In about 3 to 4 days, I flipped this account from $18 to about $800.
That is the other risky move, eh?
Exactly. So I opened up bigger positions, and you know what happened?
What happens? Yeah, we are back with Forex Flex. My name is Osam Calvin, the entertainer. I'm right here
with V-Dollar.
V-Dollar, how you doing?
It's been really amazing. Also about the show so far, the feedback is crazy.
That's interesting.
And people are really learning trading now. And to be honest, it's really amazing because I feel like following up with a journey, you get to learn along the way. Yes.
And it's interesting that some people actually are picking many lessons in regards to Forex trading.
Yes.
I've been looking at my feedback platform, and feedback is crazy from all over Africa. Now, today we're going to start with you sharing with us your favorite trading books or resources that have influenced your approach.
Yeah. So for the trading books, some of them are really technical, where you have to learn a lot of complicated charts and all that.
Yeah.
But then others are much more like psychology. So I'll share both. With the resources, actually, to start off, earlier on we mentioned we have a site called Baby Pips. To be honest, it's like a whole course, much more like, you have everything.
Yeah.
But then for the book, there is this one book. It's called The Candlestick Bible. It's like a Bible but for trading.
Okay.
Yeah.
The name is interesting.
Yes. Where you get to learn how a chart's formed, or like the basics behind. So that's a really good one. Then there's one to do with trading psychology. Now, psychology in trading is like a big deal. That if you're good with, money management and all these other things, but you can't manage your emotions in trading, it's hard to make it out. So the next one is called Trading in the Zone. It's really a very, very good book to do with trading psychology. So what happens in trading is, to be honest, whether you know how to trade and all that, but you can't manage your emotions, it's so hard to make it out. So that's a very good one.
Interesting.
Yes.
Some of these questions are quite technical, and some interesting are coming from the audience.
Yes.
One was asking, how do you use correlation analysis to improve your trading decision? What is correlation analysis?
Yes. Let me give a context.
Yeah.
So if, say, you're trading, let's give an example of, say, the dollar against the pound, right?
Okay.
So that would be, say, GBP USD, right? In that example, you're basically buying the pound and, say, selling the dollar.
Okay.
So an example is GBP USD. So what happens is, sometimes when you are selling, say, GBP USD, more often enough, you must also be selling, say, the other pair. Just like back the example, so it being a pair, we have two currencies in. We have GBP USD.
Okay.
Another example could be Euro USD.
Okay.
So you notice we have the dollar in both pairs. So sometimes you'll find if you're going to be buying this, more often enough, it's almost the same setup. So it's really important for traders that if, say, you're going to analyze, you can't just come out of the blue and say, oh, I'm going to sell this and then buy this. Yet in some way they all have the same moves. So that's much more correlation. But I would say it's a bit more technical. Like you need to really understand how does this even happen. So you kind of apply it into your trading. Yes.
Okay. Quite interesting. Quite interesting. Now, of course, which leads me to the question: what are the key elements of a robust trading journal? If you can probably share some of those elements.
A trading journal, most importantly, is much more of, like, I would say, how someone tracks their trading. It could be a book, it could be a small notebook. So it's this trader looking at, how is my trading going? How many trades do I have to take, or how many trades did I take? It's like you're noting down or reviewing your trading activity. So firstly, most importantly, you need to look at, how many trades did I take in a day? What was my risk and what was my reward? Did I do any mistakes? If so, why did I, right? Because the main objective of a trading journal is to help you improve. And I would say, back to discipline in trading, if you can't be disciplined, then it's also hard to stay consistent. So it's much more of like you're recording all your activity. Really, what's happening with your trading? What times did I trade? Did I just wake up out of the blue late night? Oh, I want to trade and all that. Or I stuck to the plan and say, if I'm to trade early in the morning, that's it. So it's the pairs, the risk, then then the money targets. Okay, how much do I have to risk? How much do I want to make? Lastly, and then most importantly, the mistakes.
Yeah.
Because you can only learn through those mistakes. If you keep doing the same mistakes over and over, then it's so hard to really get.
So in this journal, you need to clearly spell out everything.
Yes.
That you've either experienced or you intend to do. Also, something that I wanted to understand still with that is, of course, knowing when to trade and when not to trade.
Yes, the times are standard.
Yeah.
But I would say to each trader, they do vary. Someone could say, I can only trade, say, early mornings. I have what we call trading sessions.
Okay.
Just like an example now, yes, we have, say, the London session, and that's why we have London traders trading. And that means we are trading the euro, the pound, and all those pairs. So it comes down to, say, me as a trader and say, okay, look, I can only trade the London session, so I won't trade late night. But then someone else could say, oh, I can only trade late night.
Yeah.
And that's the Asian session where you're trading the Japanese yen and all that. But I think the most important thing in here is it's really, really important for a trader to set up a standard time that, okay, this is when I am supposed to trade. You know, you just can't wake up late nights out of your dreams and say, oh, I need to trade.
You're like, no, I need to trade.
Yes, because the markets are open, but are you going to make money? Or is it the best time for you to trade? So yes.
Are there like some sort of monitoring systems that someone can use, especially to be able to know when is the right time to trade?
Yes, we have clocks.
Yeah.
So you know that, okay, we now have this session open, or you know, typically. So it's pretty much easy to track.
Is there a broker you can recommend for UK traders?
Well, I think that's actually important for brokers.
Yeah.
So what happens is some brokers, let me give an example, that are regulated, say in Africa, may not be available in the UK or North America. So that's really important. And I would say the most important thing in here is doing a bit of research and looking at which brokers are regulated, say in the UK. Or to be honest, I've really seen a lot of traders come up with the same question. Hey, I can't use this broker here. What do I have to do? So it's pretty easy. Just do a bit of research, look out for the regulated brokers in there, and sign up with one of those.
So for our people in Africa, mainly most parts of Africa, you would say Exness.
We have Exness, we have FBS. There's so many actually, so many and really big. So I think it comes back down to, with the broker that I am going to use, how good is it? Transactions, how faster does it take for me to withdraw the money? And then, other trading conditions, basically.
Yes. How can someone maintain a mental resilience in trading?
I always love to share this. I think the very first thing for any trader is to understand that losses are part of trading. Like even the best traders, whether they're trading for big banks or whatever, incur losses. So it comes down to the trader. Like, you need to understand that losses are part, but now look at how do I minimize my losses. So to start off, obviously you could look at your risk management. How much money do I want to risk on a single trade? To be honest, it doesn't make any sense risking 100% of your account because you want to make big money. Okay, let's say you made money today. Let's say you risk 100 to make 200. Fine, you've made the 200, but then tomorrow you have a losing trade. You've lost almost all your capital. So I think it's really, really important for each trader out here to understand that, okay, losses are part, but now this is my approach. And again, brings us back to the discipline part of it. If you can't stick to what you write or what you say, it's so difficult to make it.
How would one balance short-term trading with long-term investment goals?
It's just about how someone would decide to look at it. I'll actually give an example. So to me, I do trading actively, like that's my active source of income. But then I also invest into crypto. I'll hint a bit about that. So let me talk about the investing side of it. You could buy, say, an asset at, say, $700 now. But we do expect that in like the next 3 years, it's going to be, say, up to, say, 2,000 or whatever. So basically putting this money in with no thoughts of needing it tomorrow or the other day. But for my trading, it's active. I need to make the money now and I need it today. And I would say it's actually really important to look at it in that way. Okay, this is my trading, because if you're looking at doing trading as your full-time job, I mean, you need to eat, you need to survive. So you can't, wait for a month month or a year to be able to take out your profit.
Yeah. What are some of your most impactful habits that you've developed as a trader over time?
I don't know if these are the right words to use, but most people say traders are nonchalant and stoic in some way. Like at some point you can't feel the emotions.
Yeah.
Which is, I would say, a wrong thing, because at the end of the day we all feel emotions.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest thing that I have learned is trading with no discipline. Bro, you can't do a single thing. Let me actually give you a scenario.
Yeah.
You've made money.
Yeah.
Right? But for the fact that you have made the money, in some way your mind convinces you that, okay, look, you can't go back and make more money.
Yeah.
Now think about that. But in actual sense, you could just sit down and say, okay, look, I've made $200. This is enough for me.
Yeah.
I'll step out of here and go do other things. So you notice that at the end of the day, as long as you're in trading, your emotions are really going to play the biggest role. And if you can't stay disciplined and you know, okay, this is it and I'm not going to do this, then it's also hard.
Interesting.
Yes.
I hope you have a pen and you're jotting down some of these interesting, essential tips that Daniel is sharing. Shout outs going out to Dim the Lights. We are chilling at this location, and of course, big things. If you want a refreshment, you can always pass by. How do you handle the pressure of high stakes trading decisions?
I don't know, all these questions at some point bring us back to the risk management.
Risk management.
Yes, so high stake, I would say, well, you've just a good trade, and you're really ready to like go in big because you want, see, this is a good trade and you want to make the big money. Again, I'll bring it back to the risk, because okay, there's one thing in trading, you can't predict the markets. You're going to analyze, you have everything and all that, but you can't predict the next move, to be honest. Yes. So sometimes you could chase a very good trade, a very great one, and say, okay, I'm going full in here. But guess what? It reverses and you're out and you've taken a huge loss. So I would say, well, you can trust those good trades. But still, as long as you're going to go in, the risk side is really important.
It's really important.
Yes.
So how do you handle losses?
Let me share a story, and I think this hurts me the most. Like since I started trading. So I think it was around 2021 or 2022. I had an account of about $18. That's like should be about 50,000 UJX, if I'm not mistaken. And in about 3 to 4 days, I flip or grow this account from $18 to about $800.
$800.
Yes.
That is the other risky move you told me about, which is flipping.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes.
So it's like I've gotten 50,000 to about 3 million.
Okay.
Yes. But now, once the account goes to 100, the more the account grows, then the more you can potentially open up bigger positions to make more money. Okay. So now the account is growing. I'm like, okay, my next target is 3,000, which is like 10 million, right? So like, okay, I've got to this from $18 and now I'm here. Then I could potentially push to 3,000 or even 10,000. So I open up bigger positions, bigger lot. And you know what happened next?
What happens?
Well, the account is wiped off. So now, once the account is gone, it comes back down to me. I'm like, okay, so I turned 50,000 to 3 million.
To 3 million.
And then I'm looking at 3 million is a lot of money. Yeah. I could have used this money for like something big or do, I don't know, surprise myself. But now it's all gone. Why? Because I wanted to make more. Yeah. Now, this hasn't happened once. So again, happened some other time. Yeah. And I've gotten to learn this the hard way. So I would say the most important lesson from this is, okay, look, at the end of the day, if you're making the money, you will need to understand that, okay, I have targets. Yeah. And all these targets can't happen in a day. And also, I think it's also very, very important to look at it in a sense of, I've made money today. Because let me actually give an example. Say I have made 800, and by then that was a lot. Of course. Like if I make 3 million, I could go for like, yes, I could go for like 2 weeks even without trading, to be honest, because I've already made my targets. Oh yeah. But now that, oh look, you made money, now you need to make more. Account is all gone. So I would say losses again are part of trading. But then it's important to understand that, okay, if you won't trade today, you can still trade the other day. And either if you took a loss today, it's okay, you could still come back the next day and trade. What most other guys do is, oh, I've taken a loss, I want to make back the money that I just lost. We call that revenge trading. Yeah, like you want to now make back the money that you lost. And actually what happens, by the time you lose money, you're out. Because your emotions are now fully engaged in, you want to make back the money. Yeah, so for you, your approach would be like, did you take a break, maybe a day off trading so that you bounce back? Yes. Did you rush to the nearest hospital to get Panadol?
How did you manage that?
This actually still happens whenever I take a loss. Sometimes I'll take a break. Could be a day, could be 2 days.
Yeah.
Get down, do other things.
Yeah.
Yes. Sometimes I need some time alone. Sit down, reflect on my trading, see why are things not okay? Am I doing funny mistakes? Actually, I would say the most important thing is taking breaks.
Taking breaks.
Breaks, yes. You need to get off and have some time for yourself.
Have some time for yourself. He just shared today's tip, and I hope you've tapped into it. Man, it's not easy, you know, and managing, losses. But we celebrate when we achieve or hit some of those targets and milestones. Sure. Daniel, man, thank you so much for sharing with the millions of people who are interested in forex trading. That is Forex Flex. Take a break sometime. Take a break.
Chill.
Peace and love.